3-1 Yuhihong, I hashtag 039, LL go to your house and cook for you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. All the special jonins and elite jonins present had no chance to interrupt the conversation between Yagyu Satoru and Yuhihong. Everyone started chatting with each other. Sheng, do you perform very few tasks in the 7th class? Master Hokage will agree that the 7th class will take the Chunin exam. Yuhihong wiped her lips with a paper towel. Her face was very calm, as if she didn't care. Yagyu Satoru just picked up the meat for her, but she was very happy and a little shy in her heart. All genins are required to perform a certain amount of tasks before the 3rd Hokage will be approved to take the Chunin exam. She had heard before that Class 7 hadn't performed a few missions, D level 5 times and A level once gone. With the strength of the 7th class of genin, it is indeed amazing to be able to complete the A-level task and defeat the rebellious ninja ghosts in Mist Ninja Village, but after all, it was because of Yagyu Satoru that Class 7 was able to survive and complete the A-level task of defeating the Mist Ninja, so 3rd Hokage judged that it was Yagyu Satoru who completed the A-level task. That is to say, the 7th class has performed a total of 5 D-level tasks of running errands and helping out. How does this take the Chunin exam? I have the privilege. Yagyu Satoru chuckled lightly. He had grabbed 3rd generation's beard and pressed 3rd generation's hand to stamp it forcibly. How can there be any privileges? It is all a personal effort. Kurenai Yuhi supported her face with her hands, looked at Yagyu Satoru with a sideways smile, and said, is it really a privilege, that she knows Yagyu Satoru's character all too well? Privilege doesn't matter, as long as the old man of the 3rd generation agrees. Yagyu Satoru said while eating barbecue, Little Hong, you spoil those little devils too much, they will become waste in the future. The 10th class is still too young, they will grow up in the future. Yuhihong retorted, she thinks that genin will grow up for a certain period of time, and it will backfire if it is counterproductive, especially the character of Hyuga Hinata needs some experience and time to slowly become very strong. Everyone will grow, but how far they can grow depends on the root of the starting point. Yagyu Satoru said lightly. Yuhihong said with a smile that was not a smile, Mr. Sheng, do you have any good ideas? Good question, Xiaohong. Said Yagyu Satoru, who had been waiting for Yuhihong to ask this question. Yagyu Satoru smiled and said, Mr. Sheng uses his brain to answer your question, and it takes a lot of sugar. Understood, treat you to a cake. Yuhihong gave Yagyu Satoru an angry look. She was wondering why Yagyu Satoru suddenly cared about the 10th class. The purpose of relationship is to benefit, but let Yagyu Satoru eat cake, which means that the two can spend more time together. It's also very good. January. Yagyu Satoru held up a finger. 1 month. Are you going to bankrupt me? The corner of Yuhihong's mouth moved slightly. She has been leading the 10th class to perform missions, and has no time to perform missions to make money by herself, resulting in almost running out of money for previous missions. Yagyu Satoru pretended to be threatening, and said, you also want to change the 10th class? Okay, 1 month. Yuhihong gritted her silver teeth and agreed, and what finally made her make up her mind was definitely not the mutation of the 10th class, but being able to spend an extra month with Yagyu Satoru. People change when they are in despair. Let the stinky brats in the 10th class go through a few despairs. Yagyu Satoru pointed at Kurenai Yuhi with his chopsticks and said with a faint smile, for example, being chased by a strong enemy, you are watching a play in the dark. Are you really a teacher? Yuhihong said speechlessly, looking at the student secretly, being chased by a strong enemy. Kudos to Yagyu Satoru for coming up with such a bad idea. Kurenai Yuhi has feelings. What Yagyu Satoru said is very reasonable, but the problem is that it is too dangerous. If Jonin, the leader, can stop the enemy's strength in time, the students will surely die. This method is only suitable for Yagyu Satoru, because Yagyu Satoru is strong enough. It's January, don't regret it. Yagyu Satoru patted Yuhihong on the shoulder, pretending to be very proud and said, remember to pay for me, I don't have a penny. You're quite proud. Yuhihong said unhappily. She was startled suddenly, and Aburame Shino, a sentence she said before, appeared in her mind. If you want to grab a man's heart, you need to grab a man's stomach first. Yagyu Satoru makes a lot of money in one mission, but it's normal to have no money, because he is exactly like Master Tsunade. No matter how much money he has, he will squander it lavishly. Many people in the village were tricked by Yagyu Satoru, but due to Yagyu Satoru's strength, many people gritted their teeth and endured it. Yagyu Satoru is the village tyrant, but Yagyu Satoru has no money now, so this is a great opportunity, home to cook. If you have no money now, I can cook for you. Yuhi blushed slightly, with a hint of shyness in her eyes. She turned her head and said with puffy face, "Don't get me wrong, I'm learning how to cook, I just want to try my hand at you." Everyone present was stunned, their eyes widened, and they stared at Yuhihong in disbelief. Is this really that heroic and strong woman? Is Tsundere popular now? Yagyu Satoru was speechless. This group of people must be poisonous, one is more arrogant than the other. It's all right, the woman on Oiran Street treats me to dinner every day. Yagyu Satoru waved his hand. He knew what Yuhihong was thinking. Yuhihong bit her lips lightly, turned her head and muttered in a low voice, "I hate you." Yagyu Satoru is the most annoying thing. He clearly knew what I was thinking, but he always refused again and again. Just wait, one day, I will catch you. She has a strong character and has never given up. Don't be discouraged, Xiaohong. Yagyu Satoru clasped his hands together and said, "Women chase men, work hard slowly." As soon as the voice fell, Yagyu Satoru disappeared out of thin air. Yuhihong clenched her hands into fists, put them on her lips and smiled softly a few times, muttering to herself, "Woo, it's really changed." In the past, Yagyu Satoru had an attitude of not disturbing strangers, but in Yagyu Satoru's eyes, except for Tsunade, everyone was a stranger. To describe, Yagyu Satoru was a flower of Kalen at that time. The current Yagyu Satoru has changed a lot. It's better to come close. At this time, the 7th venue. Wow, little Sakura, you are so good, you have already learned Rasengan. Uzumaki Naruto looked at Haruno Sakura with admiration. He is currently in the 3rd stage, which is the form change after compressing chakra. The first 2 stages need to be combined followed by a precise compressed chakra to finally form the Rasengan. Difficult, with his huge amount of chakra, even if he uses Shadow Clone to practice all day, he has not yet completed Rasengan. Haruno Sakura touched his nose and said with a little complacency, "Sasuke, Naruto, you have to work hard." Cut. Uchiha Sasuke's face darkened, his hands slowly clenched into fists, and his eyes turned into Urgoyu Sharingan due to his excitement. This ugly girl turned out to be the first person in the 7th class to complete the Rasengan. Does that mean little Sakura is more talented than me? The ugly girl who didn't bear any hatred was able to gain strength one step ahead of me. Hateful. Uchiha Sasuke couldn't bear it. Anyone in the 7th class surpassed him. He's an avenger, and he must be the first to gain power. Uchiha Sasuke is currently in the 3rd stage. No matter how hard he tries, he cannot combine the first 2 stages to perform precise chakra compression. With his hands behind his back, Haruno Sakura asked, slightly bent over with a smile, "Sasuke, do you want me to teach you the trick? I just taught Naruto. Get out of the ugly girl, don't bother me." Uchiha Sasuke snorted coldly, and continued to practice on his own, while Haruno Sakura was kind enough to help. Sasuke sounded like a taunt, "Someone weaker than me wants to teach me? Funny." Uzumaki Naruto pointed at Sasuke angrily, and shouted, "You bastard, little Sakura is kind enough to teach you, and you still talk about her like that." The tail of the crane is also equipped with educators. Uchiha Sasuke snorted coldly. "Asshole, apologize to little Sakura." Uzumaki Naruto grabbed Sasuke's collar. Uchiha Sasuke put his hands in his pockets and looked at Uzumaki Naruto with a grim face. "Sasuke, Naruto." Haruno Sakura looked in panic. Sasuke and Naruto who were about to fight together. Yagyu Satoru appeared out of thin air. Yagyu Satoru took a casual look at everyone in the 7th class, and said with a chuckle, "I feel relieved when I see you comparing each other. Young people just want to compare, and the harder they compare, the more determined they want to become stronger. Is this what the teacher should say?" Haruno Sakura complained. Humph. Uzumaki Naruto and Sasuke let go at the same time. turned their heads and snorted coldly. The two seem to be bad, but in fact they are much better than before. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, celebrate the 7-day long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 3 to Rasengan by Haruno Sakura. Cheat on exams. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Teacher Lu Sheng. Haruno Sakura looked at Yagyu Satoru with a smile, pretending to be very mysterious and said, I'll show you something, don't be surprised for a while. Don't smile all day long. Yagyu Satoru breathed out, glanced at Haruno Sakura's bust in disgust, and said, It's been so long, and I haven't seen any growth. You. A trace of anger flashed in Haruno Sakura's eyes, his hands slowly clenched into fists, and finally he gritted his teeth and let go of the fists. I will endure, wait to be surprised, Mr. Lu Sheng. Be careful. Haruno Sakura held his wrist, took a long breath and concentrated on controlling chakra, and a light blue chakra gradually emerged from his palm. Chakra solidified into a ball, and the ball was spinning extremely fast. Rasengan. Haruno Sakura was breathing heavily, his face was slightly pale, with a drop of cold sweat rolling down. He forced a smile, and said triumphantly, I have already learned Rasengan. Rasengan consumes chakra very much. With her current amount of chakra, she can use Rasengan up to 3 times a day. Yagyu Satoru put his hands in his pockets, sipped the lollipop in his mouth, looked at the Rasengan in the palm of Haruno Sakura, pretended to be surprised, and said, Wow, I'm so surprised. Before he appeared, until Haruno Sakura completed the final stage of Rasengan, Haruno Sakura, a flat bear kid, can control chakra in detail, and it is reasonable to learn Rasengan before Sasuke and Naruto. Although I learned it first, there is also a problem, that is, the amount of chakra in Haruno Sakura is too small. At present, in one day, it should be used at most 2 to 3 Rasengan, right? It's so perfunctory. Haruno Sakura was speechless. She was full of showing off just now, but Yagyu Satoru's perfunctory attitude made her weak like a punch on a sponge. Attack me with your Rasengan. Yagyu Satoru shook his hand, releasing the infinite force in his palm. Haruno Sakura glanced at Rasengan, then at Yagyu Satoru, hesitated, but the Rasengan has the power to smash a chunk of rock, and even steel, leaving a spiral trail. It should be very dangerous to attack Teacher Lu Sheng with this move, right? No one can hurt me at the moment. Yagyu Satoru shook his hand. Even if he puts aside his unlimited defense, he still has the power of reversal. No matter how serious the injury is, he can perfectly heal himself instantly. What's more, regardless of the power of no lower limit and reversal, he is also a top Kage-level powerhouse himself. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, neither of them said a word, but kept their eyes on Haruno Sakura. The pale blue Rasengan in the palm, there was a sense of crisis in the two of them, a sense of crisis overtaken by Haruno Sakura. I'm sorry, Teacher Lu Sheng. Haruno Sakura gritted her teeth and hit Yagyu Satoru's palm with a Rasengan. The light blue Rasengan hit Yagyu Satoru's palm, but Yagyu Satoru's palm didn't hurt at all. Teacher Lu Sheng, are you alright? Haruno Sakura opened her eyes cautiously, and looked at Yagyu Satoru's palm. After finding that the latter was not hurt at all, she was slightly taken aback, feeling unbelievable. Rasengan is so powerful that it can even leave a spiral mark on steel, but Teacher Lu Sheng used his hands to catch Rasengan without any injuries. Teacher Lu Sheng. So strong. The power is not bad, it should be able to second Sasuke and Naruto. Yagyu Satoru touched Haruno Sakura's head, and glanced lightly at Sasuke and Naruto. Yagyu Satoru gave a thumbs up and praised, Ping Xiong, you are very good, you are the most powerful person in the 7th class. He is deliberately irritating Sasuke and Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto gritted his teeth, raised 3 fingers, and said firmly, 3 days, give me 3 days, and I can learn Rasengan. Uchiha Sasuke's face was ugly. He had a strong self-esteem, and now seeing Haruno Sakura use Rasengan, his self-esteem was humiliated. feeling the temperature of Yagyu Satoru's palm, Haruno Sakura lowered her head and blushed slightly. My chakra is too small, I can only use it 3 times a day at most. I helped you sign up for the Chunin exam. If you win, I will teach you how to store chakra. Yagyu Satoru smiled lightly. Kazuna's 100 healings mark, well suited for Haruno Sakura. Although 100 healings mark is difficult to learn, at least with Ping Xiong's talent, you can learn a low-profile version in about a year. Chunin exam, that everyone in the 7th class was slightly startled, and looked at Yagyu Satoru with doubts on their faces. Chunin exam. Yagyu Satoru repeated. Yay! Uzumaki Naruto and Haruno Sakura cheered. They finally have a chance to become Chunin. Uzumaki Naruto pushed the forehead protector, and said with a firm face, "Don't worry, Teacher Lu Sheng, I will definitely become a Chunin, and then I will become a Hokage step by step." Uzumaki Naruto is very excited, because after becoming Chunin, he will be one step closer to Hokage's dream. It doesn't matter anything as long as you can gain power. Uchiha Sasuke didn't have much interest, all he wanted was power, not ninja level. The first is a written test, that is, to write a test paper, and the second is a battle for scrolls. Those who can survive to the third will fight against the same genin. Yagyu Satoru explained briefly and clearly. Chunin exam content. Fight against the same genin. The corners of Uchiha Sasuke's mouth raised slightly, revealing a confident smile. Haruno Sakura carefully memorized what Yagyu Satoru said. Uzumaki Naruto's eyes widened, and he exclaimed, "Chew. Paper." "Well, paper." Yagyu Satoru nodded with a smile. "Oh no, I still have to write papers." Uzumaki Naruto held his head with a sick expression of despair. He hates studying, is also afraid of studying, and studies very poorly. The first exam is to write papers. Even if it is the first round, you will be eliminated. "It's okay, I'm here." Yagyu Satoru said to himself. Uzumaki Naruto was overjoyed, holding Yagyu Satoru's leg, crying, "Teacher Lu Sheng, do you have a good way to make me a learning genius in a short time?" "It's so noisy, brat, don't think about it with your IQ." Yagyu Satoru picked up Uzumaki Naruto, threw it aside, and said, "Cheat. Are you a teacher? Is it really okay to let students cheat?" Haruno Sakura complained. "She is a true academic master, so there is no need to worry about the written test. Everything is for victory, I will help you cheat." Yagyu Satoru smiled slightly, and took out a test paper from his pocket. "This is the content of the first exam. Why do you have the exam papers?" Uchiha Sasuke wondered. All the papers before the exam should be in Umbu's hands. Yagyu Satoru said with a smile, "I stole it. After everyone in the 7th class becomes Jonin, he can skip shift and become a shopkeeper, so currently must become Chunin. To win, means are needed." The 7th class was speechless. "Smelly brats, there is a prerequisite when using Rasengan." Yagyu Satoru said. Haruno Sakura said with a serious expression, "Don't worry, Teacher Lu Sheng, I will be careful when I make a move. Rasengan is a very dangerous move, and I will use it as a last resort." Teacher Lu Sheng should be worried that Rasengan might kill other genin, right? "If you say it well, you will become stronger, but it's a big mistake." Yagyu Satoru said lightly, "Listen to me, brats, even if the enemy has no power to restrain the chicken, you must use the strongest method. Give me, hit him hard. Don't underestimate anyone, after all you are not as invincible as I am." Yagyu Satoru is telling the truth. Any seemingly weak person may become the key to victory. As a ninja, you must always be vigilant, except of course Yagyu Satoru, because he is invincible. "As expected of you," Haruno Sakura said. She thought just now that Teacher Lu Sheng was afraid that they would seriously injure the candidates with Rasengan, but never expected that what Mr. Lu Sheng was worried about was that they failed to kill the candidates. Now let's talk about the premise. Before you use Rasengan, you have to say something. Yagyu Satoru pretended to be serious. "You are indeed very strong, but I will defeat you with the moves taught to me by Teacher Lu Sheng." These are similar words. Yagyu Satoru patted the shoulders of Haruno Sakura and Sasuke, and said earnestly, you must say what teacher Lu Xing taught you. Why? Uchiha Sasuke asked. Because I look good, Yagyu Satoru said. I don't have time to mess around with you. Uchiha Sasuke moved away Yagyu Satoru's hand, turned and walked to the open space in the distance, where he would continue to concentrate on practicing Rasengan. When fighting the enemy, do you emphasize what teacher Lu Xing taught? It's embarrassing. A child who is too stubborn will be hated by adults. Yagyu Satoru pretended to be threatening, and said, Rasengan is only one of them, I have more powerful moves, but I will only teach good students who can say these words. Uchiha Sasuke almost stumbled, gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice, I'll tell. Very well, prepare for the exam the day after tomorrow. Yagyu Satoru smiled with satisfaction, a bunch of brats, if you give them some sweets, you will agree, hold on tightly, P.S., ask for flowers, ask for evaluation tickets, ask for monthly tickets, kneel down, celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 33. Guarding the Village, the Incompetent and Weak Hokage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The whole village is very lively, there are some small stalls on the street, and the noise of buying and selling resounds throughout the venue. You can see some genin from other villages everywhere, dressed in fancy clothes. Hokage building. Yagyu Satoru, when you led the 7th squad and defeated the ghosts in One village, you got a ninja tool called beheading sword, right? Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of cigarette, exhaled a pale smoke, and looked at with a gentle smile Yagyu Satoru. Old man, you are talking about it. I used it as a fire stick before. Yagyu Satoru took out the scroll and opened it. There were strange runes in the scroll, and there was a word, knife, between the runes. Bang! After the scroll was opened, white smoke rose slowly, and a sharp beheading knife appeared out of thin air. Yagyu Satoru almost forgot that there was also a beheading knife. The last time he used this knife was when he was grilling fish. He used the knife as a fire stick. The beheading sword represents the identity of the 7 ninja swordsmen, and it is the symbol of the supremacy of One village. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the tattered beheading sword and sighed secretly. In the hands of Yagyu Satoru, the top ninja was treated like a piece of junk. The Mist Ninja village has been chasing the ghosts and wanted to take back the ninja tools that represent the village, but they have not received the goods. Sarutobi Hiruzen continued, after they learned that you defeated the Mist Ninjas, they wanted to return the beheading sword. The beheading sword is useless in your hands, isn't it? There is no need to cause conflicts between the two villages. Return the ninja tools of One village to them. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Yagyu Satoru calmly while smoking a cigarette. He has always used a peaceful way to protect Konoha, and he can even bow his head to other villages to admit his mistakes. Even in the past, the Hyuga clan was murdered by ninjas from One village, resulting in the loss of a lot of white eyes. It eventually caused a ninja war, and when the village of Konoha Shinobi was about to win, it proposed a peaceful settlement. Sarutobi Hiruzen agreed without hesitation, directly giving up the victory of the war, and did not ask for any compensation. The door of the creaking office was pushed open, and a man in a blue long coat and a black eye patch walked into the room. He is elite jonin of Mist Ninja Village, Terumi Mei's right-hand man. Green Chin bent slightly, and said respectfully, the 7 ninja swords are the symbol of One village, please forgive me and return the beheading sword to us. His posture is respectful, but his manner is very flat. Yagyu Satoru raised a finger and said with a slight smile, if you want, you can, let Terumi Mei dance for me, a night of striptease. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned slightly, accusing, Yagyu Satoru, watch how you speak, that this boy Yagyu Satoru is too foolish. Insulting Mizukage Terumi Mei is likely to cause conflicts between the two villages. You. Chin's face darkened, and a trace of anger flashed in his eyes. That bastard Yagyu Satoru dares to insult 5th Mizukage, Master Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei once single-handedly ended the Blood Mist in Mist Ninja Village. All the ninjas in Mist Ninja Village respect Terumi Mei very much. Oh glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen, then at Yagyu Satoru, and finally took a long breath to suppress the anger in her heart. Call. After all, people under the roof must bow their heads. Sheng glanced at the beheading knife, and said in a low and hoarse voice, please change the condition. How grown up, it's shy to do a striptease, why not change it, what else? Yagyu Satoru pinched his chin, pretending to be thinking. The Tsurumi bear is very big, so let's choose a bear dance, and it must be done in white silk. Yagyu Satoru said with a smile. Master Third Hokage. Sheng's face was gloomy, his hands were slowly clenched into fists, a vein appeared on his forehead, and he faintly exuded a tyrannical chakra, insulting Tsurumi again and again. He is very angry now. To insult Tsurumi is to insult Chuanwa Ninja Village. Yagyu Satoru, stop messing around. The beheading sword is the ninja tool of the one in village. Give it back to them. Sarutobi Hiruzen has always had a good temper, but at this time he also felt a headache. Who is messing around? Yagyu Satoru's smile disappeared, his feet stepped on the ground slightly, a gust of air blasted through the wall, and Hokage's desk was shattered into powder. Yagyu Satoru bent down with one hand in his pocket, grabbed Sarutobi Hiruzen's beard, and said with an arrogant and mocking smile, Old man Sarutobi, since when did you have the illusion that you can order me? He had thought about selling the beheading sword to one in village for 50 million yuan, but Sarutobi Hiruzen's attitude caused him to give up his plan to sell knives directly. The starting point of protecting the village is good, but in order to protect the village, you even have to compromise and bow to other villages. It's really disgusting. Don't forget the warning I gave you before, the will of fire, everything will be reversed. Whether it's the Uchiha clan or the Hyuga clan, your weakness has caused the roots to sprout. Yagyu Satoru tugged at Sarutobi Hiruzen's beard, and looked down at the latter with an indifferent yet possessive, mocking smile. The weakness of Sarutobi Hiruzen caused Shimura Danzo to act recklessly. Instead of solving the problems of the Uchiha clan, he directly squeezed out Uchiha. After being excluded by the whole village, even individuals are bound to rebel, ultimately leading to the extermination of Uchiha. It was the same with the Hyuga clan before. The eyes were gouged out and the patriarch was killed. After the outbreak of the Ninja World War, Namikaze Minato used his strength to suppress the major ninja villages, and finally the other villages decided to reconcile, but Sarutobi Hiruzen ignored the casualties of the Hyuga clan, did not demand compensation from the enemy, and directly agreed to end the war. The village is my family, and I am the Hokage of this village. As a young tender seedling, I have the obligation to establish peace with other villages. Sarutobi Hiruzen was not angry, but took a puff of cigarette, with a hint of firmness in his tone. As Hokage, he has to guard the village in his own way. What can you gain from winning the war? What's the point of asking for compensation? The dead of the Hyuga clan, the ninjas who died during the war, there is no way for them to come back. Therefore, signing a contract with other villages can more effectively prevent more young ninja casualties. The ninjas in the village are family members. When Uchiha was wiped out, I think you were quite happy. It's so funny. Yagyu Satoru let go of Sarutobi Hiruzen, patted him on the shoulder, and said with a smile, Old man, I curse you to get up sooner. Die. Weak and incompetent, what a pathetic Hokage. The starting point of the will of fire is to protect all ninjas in the village without discrimination. When Uchiha was exterminated, the will of fire had changed. It has become a hypocritical lie born to protect the faith. I'm laughing. If you think it's funny, laugh out loud. Yagyu Satoru looked sideways at Sheng, and glanced at the latter's blindfold. Wearing white eyes, come to the door and ask for a beheading sword. The old man Sarutobi also directly agreed to return the beheading knife to you. It's really funny. Yagyu Satoru thought about it, and couldn't help covering his mouth and laughing. So funny. The best way to explain Sarutobi Hiruzen's weakness is Ao, the ninja, Ao, wearing the eyes of the Hyuga clan, came to the door and asked for a beheading sword, but Sarutobi Hiruzen, as Hokage, agreed directly. Like a bad joke, a lot of eyes were lost. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not want to return the eyes, defending the dignity of the Hyuga clan. Instead, he decided to compromise with Byetsuin to prevent more ninja casualties. The dignity of the Hyuga clan is not as important as the safety of the Entire village. Yagyu Satoru can understand Sarutobi Hiruzen's intentions, but he can also despise Sarutobi Hiruzen's weakness and incompetence. There is no right or wrong, there are only positions. The core of the will of fire established by Senju Hashirama is that he is strong enough to deter the 5 major ninja villages, but Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't have such a powerful strength. You need to protect the big ones, and then abandon the small ones, but in the eyes of Yagyu Satoru, Uchiha Itachi is absolutely wrong. In order to protect the village, he killed the clansmen and parents with his hands. There is no righteousness that can be more important than parents, so Yagyu Satoru cherishes his adoptive mother Tsunade very much. Chin, right? Tell Terumi that the knife is with me. Yagyu Satoru patted Chin's shoulder, with a faint smile, with a sense of confidence, and said, if you want, try to defeat me. He really wanted to sell the beheading sword to one in village before, but now, the tougher these people are, the more rebellious he will be if he is asked to hand over the beheading sword. Gritting her teeth, Chin said in a deep voice, I will tell Mizukichi-sama. Yagyu Satoru clasped his hands together, and just when he was about to launch no lower limit, he paused slightly and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Oh, by the way, Sarutobi old man, for the sake of you being Mr. Tsuna, I'm giving you a piece of advice. You made the mistake of letting Orochimaru go while you said you wanted to protect the village. This Chunin exam, Orochimaru wants your life, and this is the root that is rapidly sprouting because of your incompetence and weakness. Work hard and strive to ascend to heaven as soon as possible. Yagyu Satoru waved his hand, and then disappeared out of thin air. Boy, in order to protect the village, I have to live a few more years with my old bones. Sarutobi Hiruzen said. I'm sorry, please go back for the time being. Yagyu Satoru is in the hands of the beheading sword, and there is nothing I can do at the moment. Sarutobi Hiruzen was smoking a cigarette. Yes, Lord Hokage. Chin turned and left the office with a sullen face. What does Yagyu Satoru mean? Could it be that Orochimaru will appear at the venue of the Chunin exam? If so, it will be troublesome. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes flashed thoughtful, and he fell into deep thought. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 34, Konohamaru, Kankuro and Naruto who were hijacked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside the Chunin written test venue. It's very lively. Yagyu Satoru was sitting in front of a meatball shop, eating 3-color meatballs with his legs crossed, looking bored at the crowds of people on the street. Will Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin, really appear? Kurenai Yuhi took a sip of the meatball, with a hint of doubt in her eyes. She just heard from Yagyu Satoru that Orochimaru will mess up the Chunin exam. She had seen Orochimaru many times as a child, a true top-level powerhouse, one of the legendary Sannin who ended the Great Ninja War, has a very terrifying strength. If Orochimaru messes up the Chunin exam, the whole village will be in chaos. It will appear. Yagyu Satoru took a sip of tea with a calm attitude. Others are afraid of Orochimaru, but he doesn't care about Orochimaru at all, just a smelly snake. You're very calm. Kurenai Yuhi put her hair behind her ears, tilted her head and smiled softly. Is Orochimaru very strong? A real Kage-level strongman, with weird moves that are unpredictable and very strong. Yagyu Satoru finished eating meatballs in 2 or 3 bites, looked back at the proprietress, and shouted, "Old guy, let's serve some meatballs." Okay. The proprietress replied with a smile. Will you lose if you fight Orochimaru? Kurenai Yuhi asked curiously. Without even thinking about it, Yagyu Satoru said with a confident smile, I will win. Orochimaru is indeed very strong, with weird and unpredictable moves. However, he, Yagyu Satoru, will definitely win. Orochimaru is the sin of the old man of the 3rd generation. The problem of their master and apprentice needs to be solved by themselves. Yagyu Satoru didn't intend to get involved. Yagyu Satoru squeezed his chin, looked at Yuhihong seriously. and slowly moved his gaze down from Yuhihong's face. Yuhihong subconsciously crossed her legs, blushed slightly and asked, "What's wrong? Why is Yagyu Satoru staring at himself like this? Could it be that I am dressed strangely today?" "Dress as usual, no problem. You've grown flesh." Yagyu Satoru poked Yuhihong's bust with a green ball, causing her bust to tremble. "Sorry, my hand slipped." Yuhihong's eyes moved slightly, and her gentle smile was tinged with a hint of danger. There seemed to be black air behind her, and she raised the tea in her hand to Yagyu Satoru. The lukewarm tea was steaming, suspended in front of Yagyu Satoru's skin as if still, and then slowly flowed to the ground. "If you change to someone else, Kurenai Yuhi will definitely be angry, and even attack directly, but she has no temper at all in front of Yagyu Satoru. Even losing your temper is futile. Because there is no way to hurt Yagyu Satoru, there is no way to teach Yagyu Satoru. You tell me that Orochimaru is going to invade the village, is that okay? What if I am Orochimaru's undercover agent?" Kurenai Yuhi returned to normal, with a hint of expectation in her jewel-like bright red eyes. "Or, Lu Sheng, do you trust me, that this is the purpose of Kurenai Yuhi? She just wants to hear what Yagyu Satoru said, and believes her similar words very much. It's all right." Yagyu Satoru waved his hand, and said with a face, "Of course, how could the enemy find someone as weak as you as an undercover agent?" "Sorry, my hand slipped again." Kurenai Yuhi smiled and threw the whole teapot at Yagyu Satoru. The teapot hovered in front of Yagyu Satoru's skin as if still. "Because you are weak, we are good friends." Yagyu Satoru put the teapot beside him and ate the meatballs with a faint smile on his face. He likes to make friends with the weak most, because it will make him appear invincible. Of course he knew what Yuhihong wanted to hear, but it's too early. "Lu Sheng, to be honest, you are really annoying sometimes." Yuhihong glared at Yagyu Satoru angrily, then got up and left angrily. "You pay for it yourself." Yagyu Satoru put his hand to his mouth and shouted softly, "The boss pays on credit." "Don't pay on credit. I'll treat you to this meal. If you have time, spend more time with my family. It's enough for my daughter to play for a while." The proprietress said politely. Her 7-year-old daughter likes Yagyu Satoru, a regular customer. Humph. After taking 2 steps, Yuhihong found that Yagyu Satoru didn't keep her. She bit her lip angrily. She turned around and took out the money and slapped it hard on the chair. Then, Yuhihong sat back in the chair again. Her face swelled slightly as she measured her head, with a very angry attitude. "Don't be arrogant, it's outdated." Yagyu Satoru joked. He also likes to tease Yuhihong. Humph. Kurenai Yuhi snorted coldly, puffed her mouth slightly, and ignored Yagyu Satoru. When Yagyu Satoru was about to speak, through the passivity of the 6 eyes, he saw Uzumaki Naruto and others in the distance, who were having a dispute with Gaara and others. "Xiaohong, see you another day, I'll go and see something interesting." Yagyu Satoru put his hands together and smiled slightly. "You're cute when you're angry." As soon as the voice fell, Yagyu Satoru disappeared out of thin air. "Keep cute." Yuhihong was startled slightly. The anger in her heart gradually calmed down, her face flushed slightly, and a trace of shyness flashed in her eyes. "Hate you. Idiot." Others praised her like beautiful and heroic. It was the first time someone praised her for being cute. At this time, Chunin competed on the other side of the venue. "What, Konoha's genin is weak." Kankuro held Konohamaru in his hand and looked at Uzumaki Naruto with a mocking face. He just used the chakra line, tripping Uzumaki Naruto to the ground. Uzumaki Naruto, however, failed to discover the chakra line. Should it be said to be stupid, or weak? Anyway, it means the same thing. "Bastard, let go of Konohamaru." Uzumaki Naruto said angrily, "Otherwise I'll beat you all over the place." Konohamaru said it was his younger brother, but the two are more like friends. Now that his friend is being bullied, he can't swallow his anger. "It's up to you." Kankuro pushed Konohamaru against the telephone pole, and further taunted, "With your idiot's IQ, you still have weak strength, and you also want to defeat me." His purpose is to test the strength of Konoha Shinobi's genin. It's also about planning. "Brother Naruto." Sarutobi Konohamaru blushed due to difficulty breathing. Damn it, Konohamaru, bear with it, I'll save you. Uzumaki Naruto gritted his teeth, looked at Konohamaru who was being bullied, and crossed his hands in mudra. Multiple shadow clone technique. Bang, a pale smoke rose, Uzumaki Naruto appeared out of thin air, and a dozen shadow clone exactly like him. Whatever Sand Shinobi village, I will definitely teach you a lesson. All Uzumaki Naruto clenched his fists and quickly ran towards Kankuro, attacking together in a siege. Humph, idiot. Kankuro smiled coldly, and touched the bandaged puppet behind him. Temari frowned slightly, and said in a low voice, Kankuro, don't go too far, we have to hide our strength. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 35. I will beat you with the moves taught by teacher Lu Sheng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't worry, watch me finish him in one go. Kankuro's fingertips emerged, a light blue chakra line, just when he was about to activate the puppet. Bang, a stone flew past and hit Kankuro's hand. Don't bully the tail of the crane in our village. An indifferent voice resounded through the audience. Everyone in the audience looked at the place where the voice sounded. What catches the eye is, Uchiha Sasuke was sitting on the tree pretending, playing with a few small stones in his hand, watching Kankuro with a grim expression. Do you think you are strong? If you want to fight, I will accompany you. The pushy guy. All Uzumaki Naruto paused, looking at Sasuke in the tree with a displeased face. It's pretty handsome. Temari looked at Sasuke who was sitting on the tree pretending with interest. Kankuro covered his slightly aching hand and looked at Uchiha Sasuke coldly. When did this guy show up there? I didn't even realize that this person's strength is probably very strong. Pretentious. Kankuro snorted coldly, moved 5 fingers slightly, and the chakra thread moved accordingly, wrapped around the surface of the puppet, and a large number of bandages were slowly released. Boom, the ground trembled, a large piece of sand drilled from the ground, rolling and agitating like a huge wave, and instantly dispersed, all shadow clone of Uzumaki Naruto. Sand. Uzumaki Naruto paused, looking at a large piece of sand rolling in front of him. Stop it, Kankuro, don't embarrass yourself. A flat voice sounded. Everyone in the audience was slightly startled, and looked towards the place where the voice sounded. What catches the eye is, a red-haired boy with a gourd on his back stood upside down on the tree trunk, looking down at the audience with emotionless eyes. Gaara. Uchiha Sasuke's face changed slightly, and he looked at Gaara coldly. When did he appear in that place? I didn't even notice it. This redhead with a gourd on his back, I'm afraid it's very strong. I see. Kankuro's heart trembled, his back felt faintly chilled. He honestly retracted the chakra line, and threw Konohamaru to the ground. He is afraid of Gaara. After being rescued, Sarutobi Konohamaru ran quickly to Uzumaki Naruto, hugged the latter's waist, snot and cried, Brother Naruto, I'm so scared. He was really scared just now, Uzumaki Naruto said in a panic, don't rub your nose on my clothes. Master Naruto, you are too embarrassing, Brother Sasuke is cooler. Sarutobi Konohamaru raised his head and looked at Uzumaki Naruto with disgust. Damn it, one likes to show off more than the other. Uzumaki Naruto gritted his teeth, glanced at Uchiha Sasuke, then at Gaara. He was just getting ready, beat Kankuro handsomely, and saved Sarutobi Konohamaru, but with the appearance of Sasuke, all the limelight was upstaged. Report your name. Gaara was hanging upside down on the tree trunk, her expressionless eyes stared at Uchiha Sasuke flatly. Uchiha Sasuke raised his chin slightly, and said with a cold face, Sasuke, Uchiha Sasuke. Gaara. Gaara said, Uchiha Sasuke, I remember you. Humph. Uchiha Sasuke snorted coldly. Uzumaki Naruto looked confused, looked at Uchiha Sasuke, then at Gaara, and repeated it several times. He was ignored by these bastards. Brother Naruto is so embarrassing. Sarutobi Konohamaru said disgustedly. Uzumaki Naruto pushed the forehead protector, pointed at Gaara angrily, and shouted loudly. Remember me, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, and I am the man who must be Hokage in the future. Who cares about you, idiot? After Kankuro taunted, he turned and left with the bandaged puppet on his back. Let's go. Gaara ignored Uzumaki Naruto and was covered in sand. You bastards, stop. Uzumaki Naruto felt being ridiculed, crossed his hands and made 2 shadow clones around him. 2 shadow clones are in the palm of Uzumaki Naruto, rubbing Rasengan quickly. I'm going to use the Rasengan taught to me by teacher Sheng to defeat you. Uzumaki Naruto's eyes flashed with anger, and he is very angry now. Gaara and others only cared about Sasuke, completely ignoring him. Uzumaki Naruto, damn it. Make sure these bastards remember my name, Uzumaki Naruto. Gaara and the others were slightly taken aback. Everyone stopped and looked back at Rasengan in the palm of Uzumaki Naruto. Can actually realize chakra into the palm of your hand. The moves taught by teacher Sheng. Who is teacher Sheng? In short, this trick is very dangerous. This super big idiot. Uchiha Sasuke frowned, looking at Uzumaki Naruto who was rubbing the Rasengan. Before the Chunin exam started, this super idiot exposed the trump card of everyone in class 7 to Genin from Sand Shinobi Village. How can this work? Red-haired bastard, you remember Uzumaki Naruto, this name. Uzumaki Naruto quickly ran towards Gaara with the Rasengan in his hand. Then remember for me, this is the Rasengan taught to me by teacher Sheng. I will use this move to defeat you. Uzumaki Naruto is honest and obedient to Yagyu Satoru's orders. Before using moves, be sure to shout out with great momentum, this is the move taught by teacher Sheng. Idiot, don't mess with Gaara. Kankuro's face was ugly. Uzumaki Naruto. Totally an idiot and a fool to provoke Gaara. If Gaara goes mad, everyone will die. Temari. Kankuro undid the puppet, staring fixedly at the infinite, approaching Uzumaki Naruto. Yeah. Temari nodded slightly, holding the iron fan behind him. They were ready to make a move to prevent Uzumaki Naruto from provoking Gaara, because if Gaara makes a move, then this idiot named Uzumaki Naruto must die. Casualties here will affect Sand Shinobi Village's plans. Stand back, he's targeting me. Gaara folded her hands on her chest and looked at Uzumaki Naruto expressionlessly. Yes. Kankuro put away the puppet. Temari's pretty face was serious. Boom! The ground trembled, and a large piece of sand rose from the ground, rolling freely like a living thing, wrapping Gaara's whole body, forming a sand ball. Rasengan blasted on the surface of the sand ball. A large piece of sand formed a spiral and rotated at an extremely fast speed, and finally a spiral pothole appeared on the surface of the sand ball, but Rasengan did not, completely breaking the sand ball. Rasengan is powerful but lacks penetration. Bastard, the attack is not over yet. After Uzumaki Naruto finished speaking, 2 shadow clones appeared behind him, and each of the 2 shadow clones held a Rasengan in their hands. How can this idiot use 3 Rasengans at the same time? Even Uchiha Sasuke was slightly taken aback when he saw 2 shadow clones and the Rasengan in his hand. He couldn't even use Rasengan 3 times in one go at the same time, because it consumes chakra very much. Uzumaki Naruto is at the end of the crane. Does chakra have more volume than me? Booming 2 shadow clones used Rasengan to bombard the surface of the sand ball, and 2 extremely fast spiral chakra directly shook the whole sand ball away. Can actually break through Gaara's defense. What kind of weird move is this? Kankuro was stunned. The sand that Gaara uses for defense is solidified by chakra, which is as hard as steel, and the idiot Uzumaki Naruto, with that strange move, was able to break through Gaara's defense in one go. The moves taught by teacher Sheng. Who is Sheng? P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down. The internet was disconnected, so these 2 chapters have just been updated. Celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 361 Tail Shuhe is afraid of Yagyu Satoru. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who is teacher Sheng? Kankuro wondered. How do I know? Temari looked solemn, looked at Gaara whose defense had been breached, and said in a deep voice, Gaara is going to be serious. Things are troublesome. After Gaara is serious, everyone here will die. Kankuro's face was ugly. Gaara is the weapon of Sand Shinobi Village, with terrifying power. Gaara, when serious, will be cruel and bloodthirsty. Gaara raised her hand slowly, a cold killing intent flashed in her eyes. Under Chakra's control, a large piece of sand coiled around Uzumaki Naruto's legs like a living thing, and then gradually covered Uzumaki Naruto's whole body. What's going on? The sand is so heavy. Uzumaki Naruto's pupils shrank, and his whole body couldn't move after being entangled in the sand. Idiot! Uchiha Sasuke made madras with his hands, just as he was about to attack. Gaara, stop! Temari exclaimed. Is that right, Mom? You are also longing for his blood. Don't worry, Mom, you will be able to drink his blood soon. Gaara licked the corner of her mouth, and slowly clenched her hands into fists. Sand-bound coffin. Bang! All the sand scattered to the ground, and Uzumaki Naruto also fell to the ground. Uzumaki Naruto was stunned, his eyes were still full of fear, and his heart was full of fear. He thought just now that he was bound to die. Is it so lively? Take me to play with you. Yagyu Satoru appeared out of thin air, holding a lollipop in his pockets, and looked at Gaara and the others indifferently. Teacher Lu Sheng. Uzumaki Naruto was overjoyed, his whole body became weak after relaxing, and he leaned his back on Yagyu Satoru's lap. Ha! Uchiha Sasuke breathed a sigh of relief, and then he thought strangely, why was I worried just now, Naruto the super idiot? Temari stared blankly at Yagyu Satoru, and subconsciously muttered, so handsome. Little devil who lacks maternal love, do you want to continue beating? You can use the power of the crane, but if you beat me, you will die. Yagyu Satoru pointed at Gaara in the distance with a lollipop. He had been watching the theater just now and heard Uzumaki Naruto shout out, when Mr. Lu Xing taught Rasengan, he is very satisfied. You are strong. Gaara returned to normal, sizing up Yagyu Satoru expressionlessly. Shuhe in his seal is telling him that the man in front of him with a hippie smile and sunglasses is very strong. It's ridiculously strong. The strength of most ninjas depends on the amount of chakra. You and Shikaku's chakra combined are not 1/5 of mine. Yagyu Satoru said lightly, he is telling the truth. Gaara and Shikaku's chakra amount, even if they are combined, is not as much as 1/5 of his. Kankuro and the others were slightly taken aback. How could Yagyu Satoru know about Shikuru's existence? Shikaku is the top secret of Sand Shinobi Village. Why does Yagyu Satoru know this top secret? I'm not interested anymore. Gaara collected all the sand on the ground into the gourd. Are you Teacher Lu Xing? Temari asked suspiciously. You know me, am I so famous? Yagyu Satoru rubbed his chin, with a proud expression on his face, and kicked Uzumaki Naruto, who was in front of him, to the side. Bastard! Uzumaki Naruto fell to the ground, clutching his ass and looking at Yagyu Satoru angrily. Ignoring Naruto, Yagyu Satoru took out the signature pad and said with a smile, praise me, I'll sign it for you. 3 points for fishing nets, 2 points for looks, and 0 points for body. Yagyu Satoru put away the signature board, looked at Temari in distaste, and said, forget it, I will only sign for those who are big bears. Who would want your autograph? Temari clenched his fist slowly, with a flash of anger in his eyes. How dare Yagyu Satoru say that she has a bad figure? Among her peers, she is considered very good. Temari glanced at Uzumaki Naruto, and said speechlessly, don't be narcissistic, it's that kid who keeps calling your name, and I know you. Yagyu Satoru looked at Gaara, and said calmly, little Shotzi, drink more milk if you have nothing to do, don't yell at mommy everywhere. Kankuro's heart skipped a beat, and he glanced at Gaara in fear. Sand Kid? This name, why does it sound like a curse? What's more, this person actually mocked Gaara. Go crazy. You. Kankuro looked at Yagyu Satoru before finishing his sentence. Let's go, he's better than me. Gaara took a deep look at Yagyu Satoru, then turned and left. Shuhe in the seal is actually afraid of Yagyu Satoru. It was the first time for Shuhe to be afraid of others. Kankuro and Temari were stunned, staring blankly at Gaara's back. When the two of them saw it for the first time, Gaara would show weakness. Sand Shinobi Village's scariest humanoid weapon, with enough power to destroy a village, and it is Gaara like this who actually says that Yagyu Satoru is stronger. Kankuro and Temari looked sideways at Yagyu Satoru carefully. Is this man with a hippie smile and a frivolous look really that powerful? You are lucky this time, Chunin exam venue, don't let me meet you. Kankuro gave Sasuke and Naruto a hard look, then turned and followed Gaara to leave. Temari glanced at Yagyu Satoru, seemed to remember Yagyu Satoru's face, then turned and walked away quickly. Uzumaki Naruto, with a hashtag on his forehead, clenched his fists and shouted, "Bastard, that's what I'm going to say. Don't make noise, it's annoying." Yagyu Satoru said with disgust, "One is noisier than the other, and the little kid is troublesome. Where's Flat Bear?" Yagyu Satoru scanned the entire street with his six-eye perspective, but he didn't find Haruno Sakura. Little Sakura advanced to the exam venue. Uzumaki Naruto said, "You brats, go in too." Yagyu Satoru sipped the lollipop lightly and said, "Don't die in the second exam. Especially pay attention to the dead lady boy who looks like a snake." Yagyu Satoru instructed. "Wait, Mr. Liu Sheng, you've worked so hard to teach us, I will definitely live up to your expectations." Uzumaki Naruto punched his fists in the palm of his hand, looked at the exam venue in front of him with a bloody smile. "Very well said and very ambitious," said Yagyu Satoru, "the second exam is very dangerous. In the past, many genins died during the second exam, and this time, Orochimaru is likely to appear. It is also a good experience. Yagyu Satoru intends to watch a play in the second examination room." Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke walk into the Chunin exam venue. Uzumaki Naruto was full of excitement and anticipation, and Uchiha Sasuke was pretending with his hands in his pockets. Yagyu Satoru looked at the backs of Sasuke and Naruto lightly, biting the lollipop in one bite, and said, "This visual sense of being a father is really funny." Now he actually has a sense of déjà vu, watching the children go to school, be a father. Pretty funny. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, kowtow, because the author disconnected from the internet. These 2 chapters were released. Celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 37 Yagyu Satoru disguised as a female ninja. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the Chunin written test venue, all the genin seemed to be busy writing questions, but they were actually cheating with their unique abilities, because the exam questions this time are completely beyond the comprehension range of ordinary genin, and are in the Chunin stage. In the true sense of the audience, there were only a few people who wrote their own papers: Haruno Sakura, Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto, Nara Shikamaru, and Jin, a female ninja from Odanin village. Many people present were surprised when Uzumaki Naruto quickly wrote the paper with a pen with a confident expression on his face. Is that a lie? Uzumaki Naruto, the dignified crane tail, can you answer the super difficult questions of the Chunin exam this time? Really, it should be scribbling. Teacher, I'm done. Jin, the female ninja of Odanin village, let out a sigh, looked at Marino Ibiki lightly, and shook the exam paper in her hand. As soon as this statement came out, everyone at the scene was slightly startled, and everyone turned their heads to look at the place where the sound sounded. What catches the eye is a slender, fair-skinned female ninja who wears the forehead protector of Odanin village. Just a minute after the exam started, this female ninja from Inin village could finish writing in one go. You haven't finished writing other people's names yet, but you have finished writing all the papers. Even the 7th class was stunned. They knew a few days ago that all the content of this exam can be filled in directly on the paper, but they filled in the blanks, and they didn't even have this one. Jin, the female ninja from Inin village, can write fast. Kind of outrageous. Morinoi Hibiki was wearing a black coat, walked towards Jean with his hands in his pockets, and threatened in a deep voice, "Scribbles will be directly ruled out. Don't put on such a scary expression, be careful of being slapped in the face." Jean shook the paper and looked at Marino Ibiki with a teasing face. Haruno Sakura raised her willow eyebrows slightly, and looked at Jean in the back row with a puzzled face. This way of speaking, could it be? It shouldn't be possible, right? Don't say anything irrelevant to the exam. Marino Ibiki looked cold, picked up Jin's paper and looked at it carefully, and frowned slightly after reading it. All right. Are the genins of Inin village all excellent? The content of the exam questions is almost above the scope of Chunin, and the purpose is to test the students' intelligence-gathering ability, that is to encourage students to use special means to complete cheating, so several UMBU personnel are specially arranged among the candidates, but the problem is, all the UMBU personnel present have not started writing yet. Jean, the female ninja of Inin village, wrote it all in 1 minute, and all correct. Wait quietly. Marino Ibiki took the paper, turned and walked back to the front podium. Keep a straight face all the time, and be careful to ascend to heaven early. Jean crossed Erlang's legs, leaned on the chair, took out a lollipop, unpacked it, and threw it into his mouth, looking at the back of Marino Ibiki. Could it be that you are? Maribi frowned happily, and suddenly turned her head to stare at Jean. This lollipop, this way of speaking, this way of feeling, is this man Yagyu Satoru? But there is no transformation reaction. What's going on? There will be chakra fluctuations on the body when using transformation, but there is no chakra flow on this female ninja Jean. It's like the real body without using the transformation, but the problem is, this person is definitely Yagyu Satoru. The behavior of Marino Ibiki attracted the attention of the candidates present. Hush. The golden hand rested on his lips. Jin's 2 Inin village teammates also looked at Jean in a daze. Is this the gold? How do you feel like a different person? It's nothing, continue to answer the questions, there are still 10 minutes. Marino Ibiki took the gold paper, turned and walked back to the podium. Mr. Lu Sheng is such a fool that he can use transformation to take the Chunin exam. Never mind, no need to debunk, give Mr. Lu Sheng some face. Jean, the female ninja of Inin village present, is indeed Yagyu Satoru. Yagyu Satoru was watching a play outside the venue before, but when he found that the female ninja from Otoshi village was late, he had an idea and thought of a fun thing, slap Jean stun directly, and then use advanced transformation to enter the Chunin exam venue disguised as Jean. Anyway, I have nothing to do, just sneak in and play for a while. Through the passivity of the 6 eyes, Jean looked at the exam papers of the 7th class and the 3 in front of him. When she saw Uzumaki Naruto's paper, even she was slightly startled. 9 Tails Kid's brain, is it filled with air? Even though he had reviewed countless times before, he was able to write all the answers upside down. The answer to the first question is written in the second question, and the answer to the second question is written in the third question. This IQ, give up being a ninja. With a slight movement of the golden white fingers, Uzumaki Naruto's paper in the distance disappeared out of thin air, and then a paper that was all correct appeared. In order for these little kids to become self-reliant as soon as possible, let's cheat once. No one present could notice this meticulous exchange. Huh? Uzumaki Naruto scratched his cheek in confusion with a confused expression on his face. It seemed that the paper just now disappeared and then reappeared immediately. It must be an illusion. Time passed slowly, and almost all the candidates in the audience finished writing the papers. It's time. Morinoi Hibiki put his hands in his pockets, looked at the candidates indifferently, and said in a deep voice, Number 15, Number 18, Number 26, Number 34, the people whose names I named, with your teammates immediately get out of the examination room. Why? What did we do wrong? The person whose name was called was stunned for a moment, then got up and glared at Marino Ibiki. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 3iglet #039, Abstain happily together. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You guys cheated, that's all. don't talk nonsense with me, I am the rule here. Marino Ibiki looked coldly at the candidates who were excited after being called. Low-end cheating methods will affect the intelligence collection of future missions, and those who can use perfect cheat and even write the test paper, almost all of them can pass the first test. A lot of people are cheating, why are we out? The people who were named were very angry, Morinoe Bishi said in a deep voice, if you don't find out, you don't have it. If you are found out, you are cheating. The examiners present grabbed this group of people and dragged them out of the examination room abruptly. Continue with the exam. First of all, you have to choose the right one. Do you want to answer the 10th question? Marino Ibiki put his hands in his pockets and glanced coldly at everyone present. The faces of the candidates present changed slightly. What did Ibiki Marino mean? Candidates choose by themselves. Do you want to answer the 10th question? We want to choose. What if we choose not to answer the 10th question? Temari looked at Marino Ibiki with a puzzled expression. If you don't choose the 10th question, the examinees will be judged on the spot and get 0 points. Marino Ibiki said coldly, that means they are unqualified. Of course, all 3 members of the team will be eliminated. Morinoe Hibiki's words made all the candidates look ugly. If the 10th question is not answered, the 3 members of the team will be eliminated immediately. Now that I have said so, I must choose the 10th question. Then, there is another rule. Marino Ibiki said. Haruno Sakura frowned slightly. There are still rules. Enough is enough. If you choose to answer the question but don't answer it correctly, then the answerer. After a slight pause, Morinoe Hibiki raised his voice a few decibels, and said, from now on, I will be deprived of the qualification to take the Chunin exam forever. The hearts of all the candidates trembled. If you answer wrong, you will always be genin. How can there be such a stupid rule? You are just messing around. Inazuka Yasi slapped the table heavily and stood up, pointing at Marino Ibiki angrily. All the candidates in the audience nodded, and Inazuka spoke out everyone's aspirations. The 3 teammates who did not answer the question will be eliminated immediately. After answering the wrong question, you can only be genin forever. This joke-like rule is too annoying. Hee, rules. Morinoe Bishi laughed in a low voice, then looked down at the candidates indifferently, and said, you guys are so unlucky. I am the rule for this exam. Also, do you have a way out? Those who have no confidence in themselves should honestly abstain and leave, waiting for the next year's Chunin exam. Marino Ibiki pretended to be low and mockingly smiling. Jin's 2 teammates smiled coldly. Abstain. How could you abstain? You must pass the Chunin exam and complete the task assigned by Lord Orochimaru. Orochimaru is terrifying. If Ninja Village fails to complete the task, the end will be very miserable. The thought of Orochimaru's face sent chills up their spines and their bodies trembled with fear. In their perception, no one is more terrifying than Orochimaru. Jin looked at the 2 teammates lightly, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised. With a mocking and sly smile on his face, Jin raised his hand and said, I abstain. As soon as this statement came out, everyone in the audience was slightly taken aback. This female ninja from Innin village is obviously the first genius to finish writing the test paper. Why would she abstain here? Is the 10th question super difficult? Everyone was stunned, but Jin's 2 teammates were completely dumbfounded. Kim, what the hell are you doing? The 2 teammates looked at Jin in disbelief. Jin also knows how important this mission is, right? If you fail to complete the task, you will definitely be abandoned by Lord Orochimaru, even die. What do a bunch of stinky men know? That's why men are very annoying. Jin looked at the 2 teammates with a lollipop in his mouth, pretending to be disgusted. I'm a girl, there are a few days every month. Do you want me to fight in blood? Understand, let's get out happily. Jin got up and grabbed the collars of the 2 teammates, dragging them out of the examination room. The corner of Morinoe Bishi's mouth moved slightly. Men are annoying. Mr. Liu Sheng, you are also a man. Jin paused, and glanced at Uzumaki Naruto faintly. If I remember correctly, your teacher is the most handsome and outstanding man, right? Even if you can only be genin, he can train you to be strong. After Jin finished speaking, He left the examination room with his two teammates. The two teammates were so confused that their brains froze for a while. Is this person Jean? Hey, you. A teammate was just about to speak. Let's go, don't be shy, let's abstain happily together. With a faint smile on his face, Jean put his two teammates on the ground. Under everyone's gaze, Jean dragged his two teammates away. The mouth corners of everyone in the 7th class raised slightly. Thank you, Teacher Lu Sheng. Uzumaki Naruto stared blankly at Jin's back that was gradually going away. Is this feeling? Teacher Lu Sheng. Is Teacher Lu Sheng telling me not to give up here? Uzumaki Naruto let out a long breath. The panic in his heart disappeared completely, and his expression gradually became firm. Uzumaki Naruto pointed at Ibiki Marino and said firmly, I want to participate in the 10th question. Even if I can only be genin for the rest of my life, I will show you as Hokage. Morinoi Hibiki frowned, and what Mr. Lu Sheng said caused the 7th class to regain confidence. This is already regarded as cheating aboveboard. Ugh, forget it, give Mr. Lu Sheng another face. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 3-9 Squad 7 encounters Orochimaru. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the first Chunin exam, Otoshimura and others found Jean in a comatose state wrapped in rope all over his body under a tree. After Jean woke up, he learned the whole story from his teammates. Damn it, I was tricked. Don't let me find out, who is that man with sunglasses and a hippie smile, or I'll skin him. Jean had an angry expression on his face, his eyes were blazing, and his deep voice was full of murderous intent. Asshole. How dare you use my identity to abstain from the Chunin exam? Because of Yagyu Satoru's abstention, the 3 genins of Inin village were completely eliminated, and the second exam officially started. After 1 day, a very large forest, thorns and vines can be seen everywhere, and there are highly poisonous creatures everywhere. Death Forest. The genin who passed the first test are engaged in a life-threatening battle for the earth-coiling axis in this dark forest. There was a slight error in this test. Will die. That's why Yuhihong hesitated at that time, whether to sign up for the 8th class, but finally signed up. Yuhihong is very worried about Hyuga Hinata. With Hinata's weak and kind character, it is easy to make mistakes in the battle for the earth-coiling axis. At this time, a dark place in the forest, everyone in the 7th class was seriously injured, with large and small scars everywhere on their skin. They held kunai in their forehand hands, and stared at the enchanting man in front of them, who looked like a snake. They tried their best to use all their moves, but they were completely unable to defeat the snake-like ladyboy in front of them. Orochimaru stood on top of the snake's head, looking down at Uchiha Sasuke with a greedy expression on his face. Orochimaru moved his eyes, stared greedily at Sasuke's pair of scarlet or Gyu Sharingan, licked the corner of his mouth, and said hoarsely. Hee hee. Sharingan, the blood successor limit of the Uchiha clan. He used to use Sharingan only as an experimental tool, but since he seized Uchiha Itachi and was subdued by Sharingan, Orochimaru thought of it, the blood successor limit of the Uchiha clan. Far from gouging out eyes and putting on a Sharingan, what he really wants is blood. The blood of the Uchiha family is also a perfect container. If you can fully grasp the secrets of the Uchiha clan, he should have a chance to seize Yagyu Satoru. He wants to use the power of Sharingan to get the perfect power of Yagyu Satoru. He wants Sharingan, but more Yagyu Satoru. You are far from Uchiha Itachi's Sharingan. Orochimaru looked at Uchiha Sasuke with pale golden eyes. Uchiha Sasuke is still too weak, and we need to wait for Sasuke to become stronger before taking the house. Uchiha Sasuke's pupils shrank, recalling the night of the genocide. With a strong killing intent in his eyes, he asked coldly, you actually know that man, where is he now? Since the night of genocide, revenge has been his only motivation for living. No matter what, it is necessary to solve Uchiha Itachi. Sasuke. Uzumaki Naruto and Haruno Sakura looked at Uchiha Sasuke suspiciously. What's wrong with Sasuke? Uchiha kid, do you want power? Power enough for revenge? Orochimaru said hoarsely. Answer my question, where is that man? Uchiha Sasuke's eyes were fixed, and a light blue chakra appeared in the palm of his hand, and chakra was spinning like a spiral at a high speed, ultimately formed the Rasengan. Uchiha Sasuke leaped and sprinted across the top of the snake, attacking Orochimaru with the Rasengan in hand. The Rasengan developed by 4th Hokage, Yagyu Satoru, will teach you this trick. Orochimaru raised his eyebrows slightly, and he was a little surprised by the Rasengan used by Uchiha Sasuke. Shunker Snake Hand. Orochimaru's hands turned into several snakes, wrapped around Uchiha Sasuke's limbs, and then kicked Sasuke away with one kick. Bang! Uchiha Sasuke was kicked into the air, and after a few laps in the air, he fell heavily to the ground, and Rasengan also hit the ground. Boom! Rasengan blasted a small spiral hole on the ground. Secretly, Yagyu Satoru watched the battle indifferently through the passivity of the 6 eyes. He deducted 1 point from Sasuke for not yelling when using Rasengan, which is a move Master Lu Sheng taught me. It's a dangerous move. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth, looking at Sasuke who was lying on the ground. The greed in his eyes grew stronger. If I get hit by this trick, even I will be in a little trouble, right? But the stronger Uchiha Sasuke becomes, the more he looks forward to the moment when he wins. Thank you, Yagyu Satoru, for helping me raise Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke. Uzumaki Naruto glanced at Uchiha Sasuke, who was lying on the ground, with a hint of anger in his eyes. You snake man bastard, I must beat you here. Uzumaki Naruto crossed his hands in a mudra with an angry face. Multiple shadow clone technique. Bang! The white smoke rises, dozens of Uzumaki Naruto's shadow clone, as the white smoke appears out of thin air. Little Sakura, take Sasuke and leave. All Uzumaki Naruto stared at Orochimaru with anger on his face. Naruto, you are injured too. Haruno Sakura, with bloody legs and a mess all over her body, lifted Uchiha Sasuke up and looked at the injuries on Uzumaki Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto's injury was more serious than her and Sasuke's. I can't forgive the guy who hurt my friend. Uzumaki Naruto's eyes turned pale gold, and dark red chakra faintly radiated from his whole body. He was seriously injured, but Sasuke and Sakura Jr. were beaten badly, and he is now more angry than hurt. Orochimaru looked at Uzumaki Naruto, looked at the dark red chakra on the latter, his face changed slightly, and said with interest, you can use the power of the demon fox. Yagyu Satoru did a good job, right? As soon as the words fell, Orochimaru controlled the giant snake. The giant snake swung its huge body and smashed the big trees and rocks around it. Smelly snake, I want to use the Rasengan taught to me by teacher Lu Sheng, and beat you here. All shadow clones use Rasengan to attack the serpent at the same time. Hiss. The giant snake exhaled, and a large cloud of poisonous gas spewed out from its mouth. The thick dark poisonous gas gradually covered the entire area with the breeze. After all the shadow clone inhaled the poisonous gas, they all turned into white smoke and disappeared. Still too weak. Orochimaru said hoarsely, Squad 7 can use Rasengan, whose strength has surpassed that of many ordinary Chunin, but the experience is too poor, and the means of combat are lacking. It's completely meaningless to just attack with one brain. Ahem. Uzumaki Naruto covered his nose, spat out a large amount of blood, and cursed secretly, it's too despicable for you to use poison. Let me go. Uchiha Sasuke pushed Haruno Sakura down, and stared coldly at Orochimaru with the Scarlet Ergodama Sharingan. Answer my question, where is that man? Uchiha Sasuke now only wants to know the whereabouts of Uchiha Itachi. Run Sasuke, or we'll all die. Uzumaki Naruto raged. It's still too weak. Orochimaru burst out with an astonishingly terrifying murderous aura. The astonishing murderous aura covered the entire audience, causing a look of panic to appear in the eyes of everyone in the 7th class, and even the skin was aching. This murderous aura, so scary. If this continues, everyone in class 7 will die. Run, must escape. Even Uchiha Sasuke felt a trace of fear in his eyes after feeling the murderous aura. This person is scarier than the Mist Ninja. Uchiha kid, do you want power? Do you want power enough for revenge? Orochimaru controlled the giant snake and bit Uchiha Sasuke fiercely. He intends to immobilize Sasuke with the mouth of the giant snake, and then cast the spell. The giant snake quickly bit Uchiha Sasuke, and Sasuke trembled from fear, his limbs were weak and he couldn't dodge the blow. Sasuke. Heart trembling, Haruno Sakura quickly ran towards Sasuke, but because of serious injuries to both legs, he fell to the ground after just 2 steps. For just a moment, Uzumaki Naruto stood in front of Uchiha Sasuke, holding kunai on the snake's lips. Uzumaki Naruto was breathing heavily, scarlet blood was flowing all over his body, and several bones on his back were broken by the giant snake. He raised his head and forced a smile. "You're not hurt, coward." Uchiha Sasuke was stunned. He recalled that when he saved Uzumaki Naruto, he said the same sentence. Uzumaki Naruto at the time was a coward who needed to be protected, and now he, Uchiha Sasuke, turned into that coward who needs to be protected. He was just full of hatred and didn't care about anything at all, and Uzumaki Naruto would sacrifice his life to save him like this. Super idiot, if you make a mistake, you will die from this blow. Uchiha Sasuke said coldly. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, beg, celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th. 40 virtual form, Che, knocking back Orochimaru. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If I just watch my friends die, I'll be a ninja. Uzumaki Naruto roared while enduring the severe pain. Sasuke, we are your friends, no matter how many times, I will save you. Uchiha Sasuke was stunned, and the picture of being alone after the night of genocide appeared in his mind. No matter eating, taking holidays, or practicing, it is all by one person. In Uchiha Sasuke's ear, what Uzumaki Naruto said echoed, "We are your friends, no matter how many times, I will save you." For the first time, a warm current surged in Uchiha Sasuke's heart. Alone with friends, hate with friends. I am an avenger, and revenge is the whole motivation of my life. Uchiha Sasuke said in a deep voice. Uchiha kid, I will give you strength, enough power for revenge. Come to me if you want to become stronger. Orochimaru's neck lengthened, and his head flew towards Sasuke like a snake. Don't listen to him. Haruno Sakura stood up with difficulty, took out a kunai and threw it at Orochimaru's neck. A cold light flashed past, and kunai quickly thrust towards Orochimaru's neck. Orochimaru drew back his neck and gave Haruno Sakura and Uzumaki Naruto a cold look. Let's deal with these 2 brats first, they have been hindering my plan. That's enough. Uchiha Sasuke stood up slowly, his scarlet eyes turned from 2 to 3, staring at Orochimaru coldly. You are weaker than Yagyu Satoru, why should I seek you? That he understands that Orochimaru is super strong, but still feels much worse than Yagyu Satoru, because Orochimaru doesn't have that overwhelmingly powerful aura of Yagyu Satoru. Uchiha kid, can you really accomplish your revenge by staying with Yagyu Satoru and living a peaceful life? Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth and said hoarsely, after a long time, you will forget the ambition of revenge, and losing your hatred will make you change. Weak. I know very well that Yagyu Satoru is a man, he always does what he wants, and he only teaches you on a whim. Orochimaru further said. Shut your mouth, teacher Lu Sheng is the strongest. Uzumaki Naruto took out kunai and threw it at Orochimaru viciously. Through the teaching of Mr. Lu Sheng, we have grown rapidly. Although he is frivolous and freewheeling, I like Mr. Lu Sheng very much. Haruno Sakura gritted his teeth and stood up. She hated Yagyu Satoru before, but as time passed, she found that Yagyu Satoru is really good. I have decided to follow Yagyu Satoru's back, and I will become stronger by his side until I gain the power enough to revenge. Uchiha Sasuke said coldly, since Orochimaru is not as strong as Mr. Lu Sheng, so why am I following Orochimaru? It's funny. Plan ahead. Orochimaru's eyes flashed with murderous intent, and an astonishing chakra erupted. He wants to finish Uzumaki Naruto and Haruno Sakura, and then take Uchiha Sasuke by force. Homeopathy, Tsung. Reversal spell, He. Illusory form, Yagyu Satoru stood in the sky, two positive and negative forces emerged from his fingertips, and then the two positive and negative forces merged to form a dark black illusion. The dark black matter flew out and turned into a huge black hole. Wherever it passed, a huge crack like a cliff was drawn on the ground. This trick. Yagyu Satoru. Orochimaru's pupils shrank, he bit his fingers and snapped his hands together, and then slapped the ground. Triple Rashomon. Sensation. The earth shook, and three huge doors rose from the ground, but they were swallowed up by the black matter in just this moment. Booming, a huge pothole appeared on the ground, and everything around it disappeared, and Orochimaru also disappeared out of thin air. What is this, Teacher Lu Sheng's move? That everyone in the 7th class was dumbfounded, looking at the huge pothole in front of them with a bewildered expression. What kind of move is this? Many times more powerful than the previous fire-style Rasengan. Has the dead ladyboy run away? Yagyu Satoru appeared out of thin air, and glanced faintly into the distance. Orochimaru used triple Rashomon, stalled for a short time, and finally escaped with summoning. Orochimaru should save his strength to fight the old man of 3rd generation, right? Forget it. Yagyu Satoru looked at everyone in class 7 and smiled lightly. Uchiha and Pingshion, you didn't call out my name when you used Rasengan, so 1 point will be deducted from each. He has been watching the theater just now, and the 7th squad fights Orochimaru, and he can gain a lot of experience. When he heard the people in the 7th class say, Teacher Lu Sheng is the strongest, I like Teacher Lu Sheng very much, and the final decision of the Uchiha Imp, he is very satisfied. Rosie can be taught. On top of that, the Uchiha Imp turns on the 3-Tomo Sharingan. This is a very good receipt. Teacher Lu Sheng. Everyone in the 7th class was overjoyed. They were almost scared to death by Orochimaru just now. Uchiha Sasuke used the 3-Tomo Sharingan, staring blankly at the huge pothole, with a look of shock in his eyes. Teacher Lu Sheng. So strong. After Uchiha Sasuke reacted, he put his hands in his pockets and snorted coldly, use Rasengan to call your name. I don't have time to mess around with you. Now he gradually begins to think that following Teacher Lu Sheng is a very correct judgment, and now, he kind of likes the feeling of the 7th class. Very good, have ambition. Yagyu Satoru raised 3 fingers and said, after 3 points are deducted, you don't even want to learn more powerful moves. Everyone in the 7th class was slightly taken aback. Uchiha Sasuke's face darkened, and he said with a black face, I will shout. Obviously wanting to become stronger, but still being stubborn and arrogant. Yagyu Satoru said with disgust. Little kids, just hold it. A look of embarrassment flashed in Uchiha Sasuke's eyes. He turned his head and snorted coldly, Teacher Lu Sheng, did you hear what I said just now? Haruno Sakura asked cautiously. If what she just said was heard by Yagyu Satoru, will be embarrassing. Yagyu Satoru put his hand on Haruno Sakura's shoulder and imitated Haruno Sakura's tone and said, I like Teacher Lu Sheng the most. Teacher Lu Sheng is the strongest. Haruno Sakura blushed from embarrassment, and retorted angrily, I didn't say that. Heal you, and then continue with the exam. Yagyu Satoru beckoned. Uzumaki Naruto put his hands on his chest and said firmly, the injuries on my body are the proof that I will become a Chunin. Everyone was showing off, and he wanted to show off too. He will die. Yagyu Satoru said, with a downcast face. Uzumaki Naruto hugged Yagyu Satoru's leg and said in a crying voice, sorry, please treat me with Mr. Lu Sheng. Smelly brat, don't make noise. Yagyu Satoru kicked Uzumaki Naruto away, then healed Sasuke and Haruno Sakura, and then also healed Naruto. Yagyu Satoru gave a thumbs up and said with a slight smile, to be honest, I hate little brats, but you, forget it, I still hate them. As soon as the voice fell, Yagyu Satoru disappeared out of thin air. Everyone in the 7th class was speechless, saying that the students are annoying. Is there such a thing as a teacher? Little Sakura, Naruto, I'm sorry. Uchiha Sasuke put his hands in his pockets, turned and left after saying this. Uzumaki Naruto and Haruno Sakura were slightly taken aback, and they looked at each other suspiciously. That ruthless Sasuke, who would say sorry. It's even more outrageous than the sun rising from the west. Sasuke, what did you just say? Uzumaki Naruto asked after him, thinking he heard it wrong. Idiot, don't make me say it a second time. Uchiha Sasuke snorted coldly. Thank you, Teacher Lu Sheng. Haruno Sakura looked at the backs of Naruto and Sasuke, showing a happy smile. She knew that the change in Class 7 was all because of Teacher Lu Sheng. The beginning of Class 7 was messy. She liked Sasuke but hated Naruto, but now, she likes Class 7 very much. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for evaluation tickets, ask for monthly tickets, kneel down. Celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity time, October 1st to October 7th.